thank you so much for joining. So today I just wanted to do my 12-week postpartum update because we have just finally come out of the 4th trimester, which is obviously the first 12 weeks postpartum. So I thought I'd just give you a quick update, let you know where we're sort of at, what Joel is doing now in terms of his development, and what my postpartum belly looks like and how I am doing postpartum. So yeah, let's get into the video. So I will start with his feeding. So I think I mentioned in my postpartum video on here that I exclusively breastfed for the first 4 weeks of Joel's life. And then I had a couple of issues around that, but I didn't really want to stop it like 100%. So I now feed him once a day, which is in the morning, and then we can, it's kind of like before we go out for the day or do anything, and then he will be formula fed for the rest of the time. So Joel has had reflux pretty much since he was born. So he used to get hiccups when he was in my tummy, sort of like once or twice a day towards the end of pregnancy, and he now gets hiccups. Well, he was getting hiccups every day as well, and I think it is to do with his reflux. He was a very, very sicky baby. It wasn't silent reflux, he was very sick, so the muslins were definitely being used. But yeah, so we are now on some anti-reflux formula, which seems to be working quite well, so I am hoping that will continue and then he will just naturally grow out of it. But I know that it can take up to a year, so it does take quite a long time. Everyone sort of says, oh, 12 weeks, like the magic 12 weeks, the colic's gonna go, the reflux is gonna go, everything's just gonna suddenly get so much better. Yeah, I wouldn't really say that's true, but I'm definitely, it's a lot better than it was. I'm feeling better than I was. I would say I probably finally feel like myself again, and have been since about sort of 8-9 weeks postpartum, because the first 8 weeks of the newborn period are very, very surreal. You do not feel like yourself at all, and it's kind of a bit like an out-of-body experience. But I would say from about 8 weeks onwards, that's the point where I kind of started putting makeup on again every day, actually making a bit more of an effort, not just living in my underwear all the time, and going out with my friends again, enjoying a bottle of wine at the weekend. Yeah, so I am feeling like myself again, which is good. And I think the formula feeding is helping. It's giving me more flexibility to be able to leave Joel and have some me time. Yeah, so I mean, everyone's different, but that is the feeding routine that I found is working for us, and he's a very, very settled and placid baby, so we have been very, very lucky. So with regards to his development, so I would really recommend for any new mums or anyone that's expecting a baby soon to download the Wonder Weeks app. It's absolutely amazing. It's a lifesaver. I was recommended it by a friend, but I've seen so many mums on Instagram using this app as well. I think you have to pay, it's something like $2.99 or $3.99, but it's like with your pregnancy apps that most of you would have used when you were pregnant. This app basically tells you what stage your baby is at, when they are going through a leap, because they have one quite early on, and then they have another one a few weeks later, and now he's just gone through his 3rd one, so that's 3 leaps in the space of the first 12 weeks. And you know when they're going through a leap because they become a little bit more clingy, a little bit more grizzly, and it only lasts a couple of days, but it's really good that the app tells you when this is happening, so you know why your baby is being like that. So I would really, really recommend that app if you're a new mum. So yeah, like I said, he's just gone through his 3rd leap, and that's the one where I've really started noticing even more difference in him. So his sounds have changed. He's making a lot more sort of like smoother sounds now. And he also giggled for the first time the other day. I think Steve was doing bedtime and he kissed Joel's tummy, and Joel did a really cute little baby giggle, so I managed to get it on camera. I won't put it into this video because it's not a very good quality clip. I just did it on my Instagram stories, but it was so, so cute, and I'm hoping he will do it again soon, because I still haven't managed to get a giggle out of him. But he does try and talk to me quite a lot, so that's really cute, and you can try and have like a little conversation and baby talk with him. And he's so much more interactive than he used to be as a newborn. Also, he has started grabbing and holding things, so if I give him a rattle, he will now hold it. He probably isn't at the stage yet where he thinks, oh, I want to hold that, and he'll go and grab it himself. But yeah, he will hold it and kind of like shake it around, and then when he's on his play mat, he will kind of try and grab at toys and things like that. So that's really, really cute. And I think in the next few weeks he will be rolling over soon, because he's trying so hard, bless him. He's really trying to get over on his side and try to roll over. Also so much more alert, and those early sort of newborn weeks, they are just literally, you do get into a bit of a rut, and it's not that rewarding. It's amazing, don't get me wrong, it's amazing, and you love this little baby so much, but you do get in a bit of a rut because they just feed and then sleep, and then they wake up and want changing and feeding, and then they go straight back to sleep after pretty much every feed again. Whereas now he's awake for so much longer in the day, so we do have a lot more playtime, and he does require a lot more entertaining. So he was just having a nap, weren't you? Yeah, you were just having a nap and you've woken up. So hopefully he will behave for the rest of this video. But he is a very, very good baby. I feel like we have been tricked into wanting to have a second, and the second will probably be a nightmare, because I feel like with him he has been quite an easy and placid baby, and we have both tried to be quite chilled out all the time with it as well. Even when we were going through, or I was going through a difficult recovery time postpartum, I was always quite chilled. I don't know whether that's rubbed off on him or not, or whether he's just a chilled out baby by himself, but yeah, we have had it fairly easy, haven't we? So yeah, I would say now he is, he probably takes like a nap in the morning and a nap in the afternoon. We have a bedtime routine with him now, which we've been doing since he was about 8 weeks old. We haven't been too strict with it, but we've just started like a casual bedtime routine, and it seems to be working quite well, and he is now finally sleeping through the night. So I'm hoping we won't get a sleep regression at any point, but at the moment he is sleeping through, so that's really good. So I will do a separate video on our bedtime routine, but we still don't really have, at 12 weeks we still don't have a real like a daytime routine. I probably will do like a day in the life with a newborn type video fairly soon, but apparently the Wonder Weeks app says they don't really get into a daytime nap pattern till they're about 15 weeks old. So at the moment he seems to have a nap in the morning and a nap in the afternoon, and then he's that will be for like half an hour to an hour each time, and then he will want quite a lot of playtime and interaction in between. So it means that I get less done, doesn't it? But no, it's good, and he really loves baby sensory as well. So he goes to a class once a week, and then I've got a sensory bag at home which I do bits with him similar to what we do in class, and just put videos on YouTube to do the actions too and things like that, so that's quite good fun. I would say I kind of feel like since about 7 to 8 weeks postpartum, I just kind of like woke up one day and he was a different baby. I swear he just kind of changed overnight, and he just became so much more alert, and yeah, they become not your little newborn anymore far too quickly for my liking, but it's true what people say, this stage is actually probably nicer than the newborn stage, because you are a bit more settled, and we're now at the point where we don't really remember life without him. Well, I do remember life without him, but we can't imagine him not being here. And I would say that took about 6 weeks to get used to sort of having a baby in the house, but now we can't. Are you talking? See, he has a little chat now, it's really cute. But yeah, we can't imagine him not being here now. He's a really, really good boy. You're a lovely little boy, aren't you? Looking very blonde today. Just quickly talk about his weight as well. So he was £7.11 when he was born, so he was a lot smaller than what I thought he was going to be. And then it's normal for them to lose up to 10% of their birth weight within the first 2 weeks. So he actually, at his 5-day check, he had lost 8.5% of his birth weight, so they were happy with that, that's fine. And then at his first health visitor visit at 2 weeks postpartum, he was back up to his birth weight, so he was actually £7.12, so he was like 1 ounce over his birth weight. So yeah, that was at 2 weeks, and then he was weighed again a couple more times after that, so he hasn't gained weight really quickly. There's some babies that I know that are actually younger than him and they are heavier, but he's just very tall, so He is still in his 0 to 3 months clothes at 12 weeks old, and a lot of them are still very baggy on him. The only problem that we have is that he is very long, so I think he will be in 3 to 6 months vest soon, just because they're pulling a little bit here, and some of his feet are a little bit big for some of the sleep suits, but most of the sleep suits are still fine. But all of his daytime clothes are in 0 to 3 months are still quite baggy on him, so I think he'll be in those till he's at least 4 months, maybe a little bit longer, so that's quite good. And he was actually in newborn clothes for the first sort of 6-7 weeks, so a lot longer than what we thought, and I packed the last of his newborn stuff away when he was about 8 weeks old. So yeah, I was quite surprised by that, but very happy because I like him being tiny. So at 12 weeks I actually weighed him, so a couple of days ago, and he is now 12 pounds 7.8 ounces. So yeah, so he's getting there. He is gaining weight. He's still in his size 2 nappies. So yeah, he's steadily gaining weight. They are happy with his weight gain. It's where he needs to be. But he's taller. He's more tall than he is sort of wide, if you know what I mean. So he's very tall and skinny. Last thing I will talk about is my postpartum belly. So I will give you a quick belly update. I actually put on about 3 to 3.5 stone when I was pregnant. I ate a whole sponge cake to myself the week before I had Joel, and I didn't even feel sick. So it's not true necessarily when they say you won't be able to eat much in the 3rd trimester, because I swear to God, I was literally never full. So I did put on quite a lot of weight. I've always been sort of like a size 10, sometimes a size 12, depending on what shop I'm in, because I've always had big hips, but I've always kind of been mainly a size 10, and I am now like a 12 to 14, usually a 14 in Primark jeans, because my hips are still a lot wider, and unfortunately you will find postpartum that because your hips widen for the baby, it will take a while for them to go back to normal. So my hips are still very, very wide at the moment. But yeah, I will show you my postpartum belly. So it has gone down a lot, but it's still very, very soft and squidgy. So I've always just lost weight through diet in the past, and that's what I've been doing so far with my postpartum journey. But I definitely think that I'm going to need to do some hardcore exercise soon, because I don't think this belly is going anywhere on its own now that I've had a baby. So I've lost about 2 stone, but that includes the weight of the baby and my waters and everything like that. So in total, I probably lost just over a stone of the fat that I put on in pregnancy. I carried a lot of water as well, so I lost most of that overnight when I gave birth. A lot of my chins disappeared, which is always a good thing. And then the rest of my chins seemed to take a few more weeks to disappear, but they did go. So I am feeling a lot thinner in the face than what I was at the end of pregnancy. But yeah, I'll just show you my postpartum belly really quickly. Okay, so this is my belly at 12 weeks postpartum. So it's still very, very soft and squidgy. That's it from the side. So my bump was always very low, and it started off like this and kind of came out at the bottom, and I think that's something to do with my posture as well. I've always had a little bit of a lower belly, but nothing like this before. So that is it postpartum, and it's kind of stayed in the shape that it was very early pregnancy. So I do still have a bit of podge here. So I need to do some ab exercises, I think, to get rid of that, because it's very, very soft, and I don't think it's all fat. I think some of it is looser skin. I was very lucky, I didn't get any stretch marks on my belly at all. However, I have developed them on my hips, and I've never ever had them there before. And that's the only place that I really got them, so I guess I was quite lucky in that sense. But they actually got darker after I gave birth, so I started having a few little ones appear at about 36 weeks pregnant. And then after I gave birth, I didn't keep using my cream, so definitely keep using your cream, because these have got a lot darker and there's more of them. I just think when you shrink back so quickly. And then I have them on the other side as well, but there's not as many on the other side, I don't know why. But yeah, so that is my belly at 12 weeks postpartum, guys, and it's very much still there. And I've lost weight in other areas, but hasn't really shifted from here yet, and I still have a bit of like side fat as well. So yeah, so at least my waist is back. I mean, that's a positive, but I have got quite a lot of work to do to get back to where I want to be. but we will get there. They say 9 months on, 9 months off, so that is the rule that I am trying to go by. So that is us at 12 weeks postpartum, and I will try and do a 16-week update as well, just because I know that he should hopefully be into more of a sort of like nap routine then during the day, as well as his bedtime routine. And I will also do a separate bedtime routine video, hopefully this week or next week, so you can see what we do, because as I said, he has been sleeping through the night since about 8 weeks old, so we've been quite lucky with that. So I will do a bedtime routine video for you, but yeah, I hope you have enjoyed watching this video, guys, and we will see you in the next video. Goodbye.